Hey folks, this is Coloring Chemist. My name is Connie and welcome back to my channel. So this is my December 2023 completed pages video. I did some. I'm not a super fast colorist, and December is a super busy month for me as a teacher. For those of you that aren't aware, I am a high school chemistry teacher, and December's busy, right? It's the end of semester 1. There's midterms, there's midterm reports, grading, all kinds of things. So I got some coloring done, not a lot. Hoping to get a little bit more done in January, but yeah, we'll have to see. So we'll move this stack of books out of the way and we'll get started. First one I did, now some of you might have seen some of these already. I did a little video before Christmas called Christmas Coloring Past and Present, just to try and help me get into the mood. I wasn't feeling very Christmassy. We hadn't had a lot of snow here. We actually still don't. But, so yeah, some of these might be repeats from that video, but I think there's a few new ones as well. So I did the Christmas wreath, or the winter wreath, out of Small Victories. So Joanna Basford's Small Victories, she's got these 4 wreaths, so these 2 pages. So she's got spring, summer, fall, winter. So I did this winter one, and you can see some shine, I think. Hopefully a little bit of sparkle on there. Did this with Pitt pens, and then I went over the holly leaves with the clear Jelly Roll glaze, and then went over I colored them like poinsettias. I don't think that's what maybe that's what they are. I don't know. But I went over those with I think it was the Spectrum Noir sort of clear glitter overlay pen. It's like a Wink of Stella, but it's a Spectrum Noir version. So I went over the poinsettias after I'd colored them with that. So there should be a little bit of shine on those. And then I did an ink background, which had some issues. I need to get better at that. And then I spattered the whole thing with white ink, just, for a kind of a snow effect. So yeah. Oh, I think the red berries I went over with a clear Jelly Roll glaze pen too. So I was happy with this. I wish the ink work in the background would have been smoother, but with practice. I just need to practice, I think, more with working with inks and brushes and stuff. So that was in Small Victories. I did only one in this Snowflake mandala book. And I've really been liking working in here. I think I showed a few of these in November. This is Marty Noble, and it's one of the Creative Haven books. It's one of the older ones. So this is copyright 2015, so it's still got the old smooth paper, so I really like working in this. And I've just been trying a lot of wintry kind of color palettes. So, things like silver and blue, and purple and silver and warm gray. Blue and warm gray, right? These were the ones that I had done in November. And just mixed media, kind of, alcohol marker usually for the background, gel pen, could be some acrylic pens in there, maybe a little bit of Pitt pen for like these pine needles here. They were just so fine that the Pitt pens worked really well. And this is the one that I did at the beginning of December. So it's sort of a pink and blue and white and silver kind of a color palette going there. So the background, the pink and the blue, that's alcohol marker, and they are the Winsor & Newton. Again, it's the Pebble Blue that I've been loving so much. C217, I think, is the name. The pink, you know what, I don't remember. Their Blossom color, maybe? But it's just a kind of a pale, not a super pinky pink. And then the white looks to me like maybe like a white acrylic marker. And the silver, I think, is the Sparkle Pop silver, because it's quite sparkly, quite shiny. Yeah, and then just sort of, doing these kind of wintry combinations. I'd done a few of these earlier, shown these, a few of these in November. But that's what I like about mandalas. I feel freer to somehow experiment with color palettes. I guess because they're mandalas, right? They don't. There's really no set color palette. I'm a very realistic colorer, so if I have a tree, I think it should be green and brown kind of thing. But with these, I mean, I guess they're snowflakes. So I do try and incorporate a lot of white or sparkly white, silver, that sort of thing. But just letting me play with different color palettes, different backgrounds. Yeah. So I have one. This is a WIP, I guess. Although it's a pretty... You're looking at this thinking, you haven't done anything, Connie. I don't know if you can see that. What I did was, and this was kind of a labor of love. I got about halfway through and I thought, oh, this is excruciating. I colored in the entire snowflake, like the mandala, except for these tiny little snowflakes in here. Excuse me, because the line work was just too fine. But I colored it in with what do you call it? The drawing gum. But I have it in a pen. So this is a PBO masking fluid. Sorry, that was the phrase I was looking for. So drawing gum, masking fluid marker. And it has this tip on it, which is still fairly big. So it was, it was hard to get in the small spaces. But I filled this all in. I have an idea in my head. And this is one of the first times where I've actually... I don't tend to visualize what I'm going to do ahead of time. My brain doesn't work that way. It just doesn't. I have a hard time with that. But I have this vague idea in my head of what I want to do here with a background. And it required all of this work with the masking fluid. So I haven't done that yet. So it's a WIP that just hasn't... That's as far as it got. We'll see. We'll see what turns out in January. So that's Marnie Noble's Snowflake Mandalas. I did one in Entangled Christmas. So this is Angela Porter. And again, I think this is one that maybe I showed in that Christmas coloring past and present video that I did. I just did a really muted color palette here. And then there's some sparkle over top. So it's just some Christmas ornaments. Really kind of dark olive colored greenery there. A lot of white. The white is not just left white, it's actually been colored. So that feels to me like there's maybe some gel pen on some of it. Some of it like this, the white up here. I don't know if you can see that or not. There's like a white glitter gel pen. You know, in those big packs, you often get a white, not a clear, a white. And I put that in the inside of the flower. I think these flowers are that same white gel pen. The red, I think, was an alcohol marker. Oh yeah, it was. So pretty much everything was alcohol marker except the areas that are white. And this is that pebble blue again. I think I put that Wink of Stella, the Spectrum Noir version of the Wink of Stella over top the alcohol marker. And then the silver is the Sparkle Pop silver. Sorry, just going to move it around here, see if you can pick up the different sparkle bits. It was Christmas, right? And then there's sparkle over top the yellow stars. This is warm gray alcohol marker there. It's Christmas, so it has to be sparkly. Well, it doesn't have to be, but I did. All right. Oh, I think I showed this in, maybe it was a flip of the 2 Korean coloring books that I got before Christmas. I was just so proud of it. I know it's probably some of you, there's a lot of really awesome colorists here on YouTube and, I don't know, comparison. I know, I shouldn't be so hard on myself, but I was really proud of this. So I did drawing gum or masking fluid on this too. So I covered the image and then I did this background with brushes and gel crayons, and they are the iridescent gel crayons. But because I think I have so much sparkle on the rest of the page, I don't know. Well, I guess the background does have a little bit of iridescence maybe. It's certainly got a bit of shine there. And then the snowman, I just did some shading and then just colored over it with, again, I think it was the Spectrum Noir version of the Wink of Stella clear, because I wanted the snowman to be white. So I don't know if you're getting any of that glitter. Everything else was colored with Pitt pen. Well, everything was colored with Pitt pen. I think I made the birds a little sparkly. Yeah, and the smoke is kind of sparkly there too. The snow down here is kind of sparkly. Flames in the candles, the stars, the snowflakes in the sky. I mean, it was Christmas, right? So lots of sparkly, shiny bits on there. But yeah, I did like that. And this is inspired by, and maybe what I'll do before because there's a WIP at the end here that I'm going to show you that's also kind of got the same kind of inspiration. Maybe I'll wait until then. But inspired by pictures that I've taken over the years, or that Mr. Coloring Chemist has taken over the years, of winter sunsets on our property. We have, we're out in the country, and so we're in central Canada, and there's just a special kind of quality of light depending on how the clouds are. The sun is very low in the sky in the winter here, right? Because we're north. And so depending on clouds and how things, just even air temperature, all kinds of things, we get this beautiful kind of peachy yellow but blue kind of sunset sometimes. So that's kind of what I was trying to imitate here. So maybe at the end, before I show you the WIP, I'll insert some of those pictures just so you get an idea of the inspiration for what I was going for here. So I did. I was pretty happy with that one. This was the free picture that Melpomene Chatspanigiatu put out just before Christmas, and I had a little video on that on my channel, just sort of letting people know. So I printed it off on like a smooth, like a mixed media cardstock, and then I had taped it to just a cheap, flexible plastic cutting board with some washi tape. So that's why there's such sort of crisp edges along the line there. So then when I did all the background work with the brushes, right, that's after I took off the tape, I had the nice crisp edges. So that was fun. I really enjoyed working on that one. And then I did, this one was closer to the beginning of December. And I think I showed this one in that sort of Christmas coloring past and present video. So this is more winter, I guess, than Christmas. But it's a page out of Flora Waycott's Winter Wonderland. And I did the entire background with black acrylic marker. And it wasn't really a double page spread, but they're kind of related, right? These are the same candles that are here. So, yeah. And after I did the coloring, I put a layer of clear, I think again it was the Jelly Roll glaze pen, over the jars. So that's why the jars are, you can see, shining kind of like glass. It's not the best glass effect I've ever done, but I don't know, I guess it's okay. And we got stars up in the top, and I did the coloring again with Pitt pen. And then there's lots of spattering, I don't know if you can see it, over top the black acrylic of white. I think it's just acrylic paint, just for a snow kind of effect. And then on the other side here, I did the same thing, just spattering snow. There's a little bit of sparkle on, I think I did the flames on this side. It might be, this is so shiny, the camera's having a hard time picking this up. The flames and the stars have like glitter on them. Then you've just got I think there's clear Jelly Roll glaze on the berries on this side too. So I don't know. There's a lot of glitter on there. It's hard to pick it all up. Yeah. But that was fun. I then, because I did this all in black acrylic for the background, I went over the lettering with a white gel pen. And then the word Wondrous I went over with, I think again it was the Sparkle Pop Silver. So that's silvery. But then I traced over all the lettering with white because it was a black background. So there we go. There's that one. I also did, I don't know how I feel about this one. I love this book, but I don't know how I feel about the coloring that I did. So this is the UK version of Joannas Christmas, right? The OUR spelling. I like the paper better. in the UK versions of Joanna's books. They just work better with Pitt pens, which is what I tend to use a lot for the coloring. So I did this one. And I did a gel crayon background. And it turned out very moody, very stormy looking. It wasn't really what I was going for, but that's what happened. I drew a pencil line at the bottom here, and then I used a little bit of the acrylic, like the brush markers, to just put in kind of a little, like a floor, I guess, almost, and then a little bit of darker around here just to shade, right, where the presents in the tree would cause a little shadow. And then I just flat colored the tree. I didn't do any shading with these sort of more cartoon kind of shaped trees, right? That you know, when you were a little kid and you went to draw a Christmas tree, that's kind of how you drew it, right? It was like that all the way down. I'm never entirely sure how to give it dimension. I mean, I guess I could have done a little bit lighter at the edges, but then would that make it look rounded? I don't know. I'm never sure. So I just sort of flat colored it. And then I tried to put a little bit of dimension on the ornaments. I don't know how well it worked, but I think the bells look like they have a little bit of dimension. I don't know. Oops. There's a bell there. There's a bell down there. There's just a lot of different mixed media on here. So there's a lot of shine. And then there's the presents. I stuck with a really very traditional, right, red and green, white color scheme, just because I had this moody kind of blue background, and I wasn't sure. I didn't want stuff to be kind of, I don't know, kind of clashing. So that's what I did there. Yeah, and then I tried to do like a bokeh effect with the little, I don't know if you can see that or not, in the background. Used a lot of warm gray. Not a lot, but some warm gray down here in the wrappings of the presents, just so I find, and that's kind of a coloring trick that I've been doing more and more, and I really picked that up from doing the mandalas. If I'm coloring a page and I think like these presents, you try and, not that you would have to, but you try not to have two of the same color present next to each other. I don't know. Like, you could, but I don't know. There's something in me that said, no, if this one was green, well, then these couldn't be green. And sometimes you run out of colors and you're tempted to go and pull another color in because you think, well, I need another color, to go in between. But oftentimes when I've done that in the past, I end up disappointed because I pull in, another color and I think, ugh, it's too many colors. It's looking too, I don't know, busy. It's just not working anymore. The simpler, I find the simpler color palette I choose, the more I like the picture. And it just seems more cohesive to me. So what I've found is if I do need another color or feel like I need another color, rather than reaching for, I had the reds and greens going on here. And if I need another color, I'd be like, well, maybe I'll bring in purple or blue or something. And then suddenly it looks too busy. I'll pull in a gray. Or a warm gray. I really love pulling in a warm gray or like a French gray because it's another color, but it's not, right? Rarely ever will a gray clash with whatever color you've got going on. So if I need another color, I will pull in a warm gray or a cool gray or a French gray and use that. Like I colored the packages here. I think they look okay. It looks like kind of old vintagey paper. That's the Pitt pens, the warm gray, the Pitt pens, the Faber-Castell Pitt pens. So by pulling in the gray, I'm able to have that other color so I can have my alternating presents. Why I would need that, I don't know, but I don't know, my science math brain said I did. I can pull in that other color without, destroying that simple kind of red, green, white palette that I was going for. So, yeah, seems to work. I just wish I could have put more dimension on the tree itself. I'm just never sure how to do that with these kinds of trees. I don't know, do you guys find that too when you have trees? trees that are more realistically drawn, that have, you know, needles and things like that, I find that easier to give dimension. But when you've got these kind of really simplistic, almost cartoon kind of drawn trees, I'm never sure how to give them dimension. So if anybody has any ideas, let me know in the comments. So there was that one. And then I was on a Christmas kick, I guess. And I have my little Matchstick Mouse Christmas coloring book here. So I did that because she's just so cute. And you know what? This scene here is one of my favorite times during Christmas, when it's like everything is done, the presents are wrapped, the tree is decorated, the food is made, maybe it's Christmas Eve, and you just kind of sit back with a cup of tea. It's snowing outside, and you just maybe turn all the lights off except for the Christmas tree, and you just take some deep breaths. That's my favorite time at Christmas time. I'm an introvert. I struggle with gatherings, and I have a large family, and we get together, and it is lovely to see people, but oh my goodness, I get tired afterwards. So this scene just really, really appealed to me, really called to me for that. And again, I just kind of went with red and green. I used Corey on Color Feel Optimistic. She had a little, I think it was a color along, or maybe it was just a chat, kind of whip and chat, but she was talking about how she flicks pine needles in and kind of goes outside the line work. And so that's what I was trying here. And Corey, it's a wonderful technique. I really like it. It made this look very fluffy. So then my Matchstick Mouse has a little pine cone tree over here in the corner. The curtains were mismatched in the drawing. One had polka dots on one side and one had checkers. So that's what I did. I did a little buffalo plaid. I don't know if you can see that underneath the tree with the red and black. I really like buffalo plaid. The black and red check. And then just red and green presents. There's her little worm friend. And the chair, I just went, again, I'm not so much of a bright color palette person. You know, so the chair is kind of a gray blue, kind of a warm gray or French gray blanket on the back, and the poof she's got her feet up on. After I was finished, I put clear Jelly Roll glaze on the window there, so it looks like glass. And I think the only other sparkle on the whole thing is the star on the tree, the little pine cone tree. I put some, I think I used one of the Stardust, Jelly Roll Stardust, probably the yellow one, just to do the star. But I don't think any shine, any other shine you see is, oops, sorry, just, this was all Prismacolor. And so I was putting burnishing pressure down. Oh, except for the red. The red is the Derwent, this one, that Derwent Light Fast red, just because it's just called Derwent red. It's a really nice, true red. And I think I mentioned before, this is in my Polychromos Plus case, and I have one actually in a rack just in front of me for using with other pencil sets as well, because, and I got this idea from Lindsay the Frugal Crafter, it's hard to get a really true red. Even in sets where there's 120 or 150 pencils, you've got reds that lean slightly orange or slightly purple or slightly blue, slightly too pink. This is just a really, really nice, true red. So any of the red on here, that's this red. The rest is all, I think, I might have pulled in one Holbein, maybe the smoke blue, for a little bit on the chair. But other than that, everything else is Prismacolor. And Polychromos are my favorite pencil, but I really like Prismacolor on the Amazon paper, the rougher paper. It just seems to work really well. So I'm going to put this aside, and I'm going to insert a clip now here, and I'm just going to show you some of the pictures. I was talking about sunsets before. Just some of the sunset pictures that we've taken on our property over the years that inspired me for that Melpomene Chetspanigyautu page, and also a WIP in here. So here are some pictures that have that color, that orangey, yellow, peachy, blue winter sunset palette. All right, so hopefully you can hear me and you can see the pictures on screen here. So this is a picture looking out the back of our property. That's our little garden there in our barn. There's one of my horses. We had to say goodbye to them this past fall. So, but can you see what I'm getting at with the kind of orange, yellow, and then it goes up into the blue? Now this isn't winter. This would be, I'm guessing, probably late fall. There's a winter picture. So it's that peachy, but then the snow looks kind of blue and it goes up into a violet kind of blue up in the sky. There's another one. So this is again very, yeah, you've got, there you can just see the sun peeking over. You've got kind of the snow itself looks blue. You've got some blue up in the sky there. Off to the left. This one I really liked. This is sort of looking out over our pastures and fields. But again, that peachy, yellow, blue look to the sky. That's the kind of sunsets we will get in the winter. We get beautiful sunsets other times of the year as well. But winter, you just get that. This one, I mean, you can see less so. I guess you can kind of see, it almost is the peachiness. You can see it a bit up here. It's almost making the snow a bit peachy too. That one, just some peach in the background there. And this is one of my favorites. Mr. Coloring Chemist took this a number of years ago. It was these trees have actually come down since then. They were old trees and they were kind of dying, but just kind of silhouetted against, yeah, that peachy yellow. I'm looking at this. I think in the picture I have it backwards. I think I have the yellow down low and then the peach. Looks to me like I should have the peach down low, then the yellow, and then go up into the blue. I'll have to think about that. But yeah, these were just some of the pictures from our property that inspired me to try that background. Okay, so you've seen the inspiration pictures. And I will say they were also the inspiration for, again, that kind of effect in the background. The lighting is kind of washing out the color. There you might get a bit better sense of some of the color there. So you've got kind of the peach and the yellow. But now that I'm looking at those pictures, I think I should have had those flipped. It should have been peach and then, think about that going forward. But I've got a WIP in this Rita Berman, this is her Winter Walk book. So again, maybe I should have had that the other way around. Not sure. I am still working on this. I've done some basing, but not, yeah, I haven't done shading or anything. I think I've done shading on the houses, and yeah, not so much on the tree. I need to do the shading on the trees. I need to figure out what I'm going to do for sort of the ground. I mean, I guess it could be a lot of snow, and I've done a little bit of shading on the snow in various places, but that was the same kind of background. And there is a little bit of yellow that I put on just the top, kind of a yellow peach on the top of the snow, because what you find is that light tends to reflect onto the snow, right? So the snow will have snow, we think of snow as white, which I guess it kind of is, but it certainly is very reflective of whatever other color light is around it, or whatever color is being reflected onto it. So snow can be, I find, really tricky to color. For shading for snow, I tend to use, where is it? This. So this is the Pitt Artist brush pen, because I do a lot of coloring with this. This is all Pitt pen color. Well, not the background. The background is gel crayon. But this Light Indigo 220, this color doesn't exist in Polychromos or Albrecht Dürer, which is too bad. It is a fantastic color. And it's the perfect color for shading snow. Because snow does have kind of a blue look to it, because it's reflecting usually the sky, right? And your sky is blue. Or on overcast days it can be more gray. But I find if I use gray to shade snow, it just makes the snow look dirty. Like it looks like, I don't know, you got some dirt mixed in there. Whereas if I use this or a color similar to this to shade it, then it looks like snow. And I know Shelly with Shell's Coloring Journey. Sorry, Shell, if that's the wrong, I think that's your channel. Beautiful, wonderful colorist. She did a video on how she colors snow, and I noticed she didn't use this pit pen, but it was one of the colors that she was using to talk about shading snow. Or like a purple or like a turquoise or any of the blue, green, blue violet colors I think are going to work for shading snow because yeah, that's what snow reflects. So I'm pretty excited to keep working on this. I just ran out of time. I wanted to have it done. It's not really a Christmas. Well, it's got a little few candy canes down here, but really that's the only kind of nod to Christmas. And a sled with presents in the corner, I guess. But the rest of it could just be winter. So I'm pretty excited to keep working on this. And I want to try doing this kind of background some more. And maybe I'll try another picture in a different book maybe and flip. So I'll put the peach down low and then the yellow up higher. See if that looks better. I think I put a layer of, yeah, I did, over the ice they're skating on. So I shaded it first and then just put a layer of clear. I think I might have used the Jelly Roll glaze pen for that too. I know it's a large area, but if you go slow, it works okay. I think I might have put a little bit of sparkle on some of the snow just to see how I liked it. And the gel crayons that I was using for the background are all, if I do a tutorial, and I think I will, I'll show you which ones I used, but it was like some of the Tim Holtz ones that have some of his, what do you call it? Like his holiday collections. So it's like Winter Frost and those kinds of colors. So they do have a little bit of sparkle to them. So the sky does have a really faint, I guess you can kind of see it when I move the book there, really faint kind of sparkle. And then I had some gelatos, some of their iridescence. I used a little bit of the metallic ones from the King Art gel crayons, just so that everything would have, yeah, that little bit of sparkle. So that is my completed pages and WIP for December 2023. I'm not sure what my coloring plans are for January. I haven't done that video yet. I'm not sure if I will. I haven't really done any coloring plan videos on my channel, mostly because I don't ever know what I'm going to be able to do. But maybe I'll try one for January 2024. If you're enjoying what you're seeing on my channel, please consider subscribing, hitting the like button, hitting the notification bell, leaving a comment. They're all great. They all help my channel to grow. If you know of other folks, either on your other social media channels or in real life that you think might like my channel, feel free to share with them as well. I hope everyone is safe. I hope everyone is well. And I hope everyone is enjoying their coloring. Till next time, bye-bye.